in this isolation period? It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon in New York City. I'm Evita. Thanks for tuning in. This is a live stream coming to you again from syncopatedcity.com. You might be watching via Facebook live stream from our Syncopated City Facebook page. You might be watching from YouTube, our YouTube channel. Please subscribe so that you can be updated for when we do more live streams. I have a guest today that I'm very excited to talk to, and man, she is gonna school us. Miss LaTasha Barnes. She's also here in New York City, and we were going back and forth with a couple of titles for this one. It was, Move and Groove. That's pretty safe and covers everything. And then I said, LaTasha, you should teach us something about like what Lindy Hoppers might be missing in their dance or in the way they approach the dance. And so that's the angle that I'm going to try to take. But I think LaTasha just wanted it to be called Thinking About the Hips. Big focus on our hips as dancers and how we use them in jazz dance and in Lindy Hop. So let's see if LaTasha picks up her phone. Let's see. Oh, did she just send me a text message? Oh, there she is. I think I see her. LaTasha, hi, thanks for picking up.
Yeah, of course.
We always got to check, make sure that the technology works. Let's try flipping over. Oh, there you are. You look so beautiful. Earrings, lipstick, gorgeous. How are you? How are you, Miss LaTasha?
I'm doing well. Wish it was as sunny today as it was yesterday, but c'est la vie.
C'est la
But it's
vie.
good. Yeah, I'm
Where
doing good.
exactly are you? How have you been doing? What has life been like for you? Are you still working at all? Are you able to do anything? What's going on for you?
Well, I'm in Brooklyn, Brooklyn, New York. So, yeah,
That's
near
great.
Fort Greene area. Anybody that knows Brooklyn? Yeah. Um, I have actually been quite a bit busier than I expected, which I'm really grateful for. Um, started doing, I guess the closest thing to describe it as would be a bit of dramaturge work and script consulting on some future projects, which has been really overwhelming and amazing to be a part of. Um, looking into more academic pursuits, also doing a lot of writing, which has been anxiety inducing. Don't know
You,
why. I
I
love
was
to
gonna say
write, but then as soon as I
you
write, I'm
don't
like,
need any more anxiety right now.
exactly. That sounded there was one project that I had to back off of in a certain way because in the writing, it was making me reflect on a lot of things that we can't do right now, like be in close quarters and share and have that experience of wonderment and amazement of somebody discovering like the possibilities in their dancing and watching that wash over somebody else. And it just kept breaking me down. So I had to step back from that project. But all in all, like it's been things have been really good and like really unexpected, amazing projects like our shared Guggenheim virtual commissions. Congratulations to you too.
Congratulations. That's going to be, I can't wait to see those come out. Well, LaTasha, a couple people saying hello. Mara saying hello from upstate. Ron O'Connor from New Orleans. Sam saying, hey there, love to see the both of you together. So people are tuning in and watching. And yeah, and if you're not able to be here for the live thing, then of course you can watch the replays. Well, the purpose of these live streams, at least from Syncopated City as an online platform, has really been to reach out to our friends, our colleagues, artists, musicians, and show you some love and support. Now, selfishly, I have just been loving getting to talk to my friends and like play and dance and learn stuff. But if anybody is out there watching, tuning in, and they'd like to send some love to LaTasha, we are accepting and requesting little mini donations. you can go to syncopatedcity.com/live. And that has all of LaTasha's direct information, links that if you wanted to send her a little kiss, a little hug, a little love, you can send directly to her. And it just helps right now because, I think everybody in the world, but especially artists in our community and people who have relied on live events, we are being as creative as we can right now to continue to make things work. Couple of more
For sure.
hellos. Hi, Chiren. Hi, Luca from the UK and Italy. So sometimes in one place, sometimes in the other. Hi, Robert from Germany. Great to see you. Claudia, big kiss from Paris. Thank you guys for tuning
Wow.
in. Yeah. So,
Aw.
yeah, people are saying hi. So, LaTasha, I was saying to people that I thought that the name of this session could be "What are Lindy Hoppers missing?" Or
Right.
and then I know you kind of wanted to Taryn Newborn. I love you so much, ladies. Hello. Maria, hello. Is it possible to have subtitle for French people who have really bad English? Oh, maybe
Oh,
someday, Maria, but I don't have that technology yet. Ronnie, oh, Ronnie from Paris. Big hug to Ronnie and to Eyal. Nicola, hello from Scotland. Leticia from Italy. Thank
oh
you
wow.
guys. Thanks for tuning in. So, so LaTasha, you think it's
Okay.
super important to focus on our hips.
I do. I really do.
Well, tell us about that. What
That was
happens?
that was a little joke as we were starting to talk about this class. Like the groove, what Lindy Hoppers might be missing, and of course, me and my '90s brain was like, "It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips." People who know what that reference is, we're friends. We're friends. But one of the things, uh, especially in me coming from such a varied set of other dances, the African American social dance experience really had a challenge when I was first learning Lindy Hop and jazz steps at controlling my hips. And then I realized that I didn't need to control my hips. I just needed to alter the way that I was using them. And one of the challenges when I'm teaching now is when I ask people to access their hips, they immediately start doing salsa like things with their hips, which is still just another way of just kind of aggressively attacking the use of their hips as opposed to absorbing the movement like we talk about when we're pulsing into the floor and moving about. Like we absorb everywhere else, right? We start talking about the hip teeter totter and shift. So one of the things that I was thinking about was one of my favorite house dance steps that kind of helped me unlock a little bit more of the capabilities in my hips, and that is it's a move called the Lotus, and it was introduced or popularized by Marjorie Smart, may she rest in power. And yeah, it's a step that really, for me, in I guess you would say in binary terms, it evokes a sort of feminism or femininity, not feminism, excuse me, femininity in its movement or in its projection. But really, for me, being from the PT background, as I dissected it, the way that the hips move gave me greater access to be able to sink into the floor or to project upwards when I used it that way. So yeah,
Uh,
it's all about.
LaTasha, thank you. I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying because it was really beautiful. But I do want to do a technical check. We can hear you fine, and if you're in the comments, can you verify for me that LaTasha's sound is coming through fine, but the image is super duper pixelated, which is very strange because it
Oh,
wasn't it wasn't doing that before. And I wonder if maybe your laptop is on Wi-Fi or if the phone is on Wi-Fi, or can we check? And
yeah,
yeah,
the phone is. We both are.
And meanwhile, we've got Valentina saying ciao. We've got Benny saying hi from Houston. Love both of y'all. We've got Benny saying it's all in the hips. Julia, hello from Brooklyn. Benny says no one can control Tasha's hips. Okay, I agree. Christine says yes, we can hear as well. Okay, fantastic. So the sound is good, but the video is a super pixelated. While
So they're not. I'm not on the same Wi-Fi channels. So
I understand. Let me try, if you don't mind, LaTasha, can we hang up and will you call me back just to try and reset the connection?
sure,
Okay. All right, you call me back.
absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, meanwhile, folks, I'm here. Let's see. Cheren is saying sound is fine, but yeah, LaTasha's image is blurry. Sound is a little broken up, but still understandable. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep trying. We'll keep seeing if we can make it better. Sound is okay, but image is not. Yeah, I know. I wonder what that's about. Technology, guys, it has been such a steep learning curve trying to figure out what works. Ron, sound is a little choppy, but it's coming through. The picture's really pixelated. Yeah, that's what I was seeing too. Well, we shall see when LaTasha calls me back. Hopefully, fingers crossed, her image will be a little bit stronger. Let's see. Hi, I see you. Let's check your audio. All right.
Yes, no, maybe.
That's better. That's a lot better.
Okay.
Woo-hoo.
So I just turned off Wi-Fi completely because it seems to be having some issues right now. Actually, it swapped channels right as we got off the phone the first time. So don't know what's happening there.
Okay, not a problem. You look much better. The image is a lot better now. Okay, so tell us really quickly again, what are we going to do with hips today?
So in considering, I guess, so some of my favorite moves that I secretly, I guess, use my hips in that most people don't consider, like super cute, the stomp offs, single side, as well as in my variations of fall off the logs. There's a lot of extra hip accessibility, hip torsion in there. So it's easier to do than to just talk about. So let's do what we're here for.
All right, so I'm gonna put the focus on your screen so we can see your whole body. Yes, ma'am, I see all of you, and I'm just gonna be in the little corner here. Yeah, and Cheren, thank you. She's saying that it's a little bit better. Cool. All right, so talk to us. What are we gonna do?
So this step is one of my favorites, like I said, and it's a projection of the hips outward with the feet coming back underneath in the center. So there's a little slip as it rolls back in. So what's happening in your, and so if I let the move just roll along, looking very loose and free. You can push it to the front, push it to the back and the front. My favorite is moving it around in circles. Very beautiful, very emotive, very evocative step. But what's happening in your hips is one of the things that I didn't realize until I started really exploring jazz and then also started teaching. That is happening in your hips is this hike. So just a nice, gentle hike up. I'll get a little bit closer so you can see that. So I'm crunching into my side. Yeah, I can figure it. So instead of, whereas in like maybe belly dancing, you would turn to the side and present this, it's straight on, just like when we're considering a lot of the other steps that we do in jazz. And it's just a hike right in place. So I'm hiking my hip here, and then on the opposite side as well. So just getting comfortable with occupying this side body space. So for those who know about my PT background, one of my favorite things to do is to take exercise. We'll take dance steps, figure out how I'm not exactly accessing something to look like I want it to, and making a workout out of it. So there was a time, as well as because of other things, that I was just hip hike walking around just to get my body used to moving from this space, whether I was going forward or backwards, and then also attempting to roll back while hiked and rolling forward. I know it feels like the most awkward thing in the world. What's that feel like to you, Vita?
LaTasha, I'm loving this. I am loving this. This is super fun. The image got poopy again. I can still hear you. Let me try to call you back one more time. I mean, we hear you, so all of your descriptions are really powerful and helpful, but it's just very pixelated. But they can see me trying, which is probably very comical. But let me try to call you back just one more time.
Okay.
Okay, we shall see. I just do not know. Hi, funky man. What? I got another friend from Paris. Man, Paris is in the house today. People in France. Well, of course, because LaTasha's a champion of dance at the big conferences there, of course. That's probably why. Let me try calling LaTasha again to see if the video is going to be any clearer. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Well, I see you. I see you, and I hear you.
Still pixelated?
Yeah, a little bit, and I just don't know why. I just don't know I don't know what's causing it. But I guess the important thing
Now
is
the Wi-Fi is stronger, which is good.
okay, all right. And all the other Wi-Fi and all of the other things are off. And
As far as my stuff, my roommates might have things on.
man, that is so weird because when we did a practice before this and the image was like crystal clear. Oh well. Well, let's just keep going. They can see my body, and I'm sorry if you guys can laugh at my attempts, but we can hear your coaching, which is most important, LaTasha. So give us a couple of more.
For the replay later, maybe it's best to put both our full bodies side by side on the screen. That way you can have that, and hopefully after it's buffered a bit, maybe it'll come through a little bit better in the replays.
That's a good point.
Maybe.
All right. Let's keep on going.
Okay. Back to our awkward hip hiking. So just nice and easy lifts of the hip. And so as you step forward, especially if you're trying to hold on to our jazz aesthetic, we talk about adding that pulse and holding that pulse no matter what we do. So when we do this and we just walk, we have that nice little accessibility in the knees. You can easily turn, move side to side. Now, if we take this same pulse as we walk and add a little hip hike, if you're holding that pulse, you'll feel it feels a little more like you're shimmying your hips while also walking. I see it happening to people. Almost feels like you have a little bit of a triple bounce going on as you move around.
Okay, I love that. That is now my new official favorite thing, ever. Where does this come from, LaTasha? Because I kind of feel a little bit I don't know enough about any of the hip hop dances or house or anything, but I kind of it feels real sassy. Ooh, and someone is saying, Tasha, you just broke my hips. and then Tashi, not to be confused with Tasha, but Tashi Gregorska says, yeah, LaTasha and Evita, I just listened to both of you on the Track podcast this week.
Aw,
Awesome. Love both of you
thank
grooving. Love from
you.
Bristol. Thanks, Tashi. Thanks.
Tachi.
But tell us, like, what does this kind of come from?
So where it comes from, that's one of the things that I'm still something out as far from a ethnochoreological standpoint. But one of my favorite interconnections, I guess you would say, was, being a distant fan of Beyonce. I'm not a part of the Beehive, as people would like to say. But, the sassiness that she projects in some of her movement and things like this, that her choreographer incites her to project in her movement. Let's get that correct. I always enjoyed the sassiness. And it wasn't until I was watching Alan Leon Shim Sham. I don't know if you remember that. Exactly. That hip drop moment. That was one of the things that actually finally made things click for me in my brain that, I didn't need to necessarily control my hips, as in to not allow them to do anything except support my weight, but I can actually access my hips, hold weight there, manipulate weight there to change the projection.
Uh-oh, LaTasha, hold on. Uh-oh, LaTasha.
Just messing up.
Hold on. We gotta go back because we froze for a second there, and
Oh,
I
no.
lost some of the examples. But you were basically saying from the Leon James stuff and putting it into Susie Q's. And tell
Yes.
us again. Tell us again.
So if you go back and look at the Alan Johnson show, when you see him hit his tack Annie, that nice little projected hip dip from the tack Andes when he rolls into that beautiful rhythm at the end of the tack Andes in the Shim Sham. That's still one of my favorite steps. But that hip drop is just the opposite articulation of this hike that we've been playing with walking around. So thinking about the hike as we were walking, in order for you to stay grounded and be available to access the floor, you have to hike and drop simultaneously. So as you're hiking in one, you're dropping in the other. And that's what's happening. That's what's making you feel like you have this triple bounce thing going on, which is the sassiness that you feel as you do it. Yeah. And so when like using this, and again, so from the lotus, this projection of heaviness in the leg, bringing it back underneath, I love employing that in my Charleston. So it's not just this nice, comfortable swing across. I like to drag it. And I'm doing that by dropping into that hip a little bit more as I come across. So I'm dipping into the standing leg. As I swing across, I open up that outward hip, almost like I'm going to try to drag this or sweep the ground or brush something out of the way with the side of my shoe. Yeah. But this is the things that become available as you open up your hips. Yeah, Vita, that's beautiful. And so those beautiful articulations of it for me personally is, like I was saying, in the Susie Q. So nice and easy, just basic. With that beautiful, fun kick going forward, when I add my hips, And this is one of the things, especially when I'm trying to meditate on a projection or a presentation that I want to give. I really feel like, I guess you would say, circa Marie Bryant when I Susie Q that way. It's very much about hiking in the back as well as opening in the front, as opposed to just letting my weight sit in my legs and pivoting across the floor side to side. Does that make sense?
Sorry, I muted myself so that they wouldn't hear me huffing and puffing while you were talking. Cause you better believe that I am who. But no, it makes sense.
Things that I think helps me get around when I Susie Q in a circle. And you can have just the basic intention of Susie Q in a circle. But when you yeah, I think that
LaTasha, I love this so much, and I think this is a huge stylistic and harnessing of a part of the body that so many Lindy Hoppers kind of they don't spend enough time on. You know, I think the majority of Lindy Hoppers, and I could be wrong, but I think a lot of people are mostly concerned with moves. They're concerned with they're concerned with rhythms in their feet. Their focus and their priority goes a lot more towards like a tap dancer's journey of articulate footwork. But the hips and actually the whole core, like the ribs and the shoulders, is a place that I don't know gets left behind, gets forgotten a lot. So it feels great. It feels great. And that, once again, that stems from the creator of that step, Marjorie Smarth, and it's called the lotus, but it's an example of how the hip movement can then be used in a lot of our jazz steps.
yeah.
Cool. Super duper cool. You had also written down, what are hike and hike walks?
So that's what we started with. The
Okay.
awkward, yeah, the hike.
That's what a hike walk is. Gotcha, gotcha.
So the hike walk is literally you walking while hiking.
Hike walks, gotcha.
And
That's
this is a good warm up drill.
Yeah, that's a good exercise, walking forwards and backwards. Claudia Reinhardt, thanks for tuning in. She says yes, wobbly knees and hips. Like thinking about what we can also do within the knees and the thighs, I guess, and of course the hips. Meredith, she says, love this. Are your hips rolling side crunch or a combination of both? Are your hips rolling, or is it a side crunch, or both? I think that's Meredith's question.
Inside in this hike, it's just a hike. So I'm hiking, and if you want to be super, super technical anatomically, it's always a little bit of a degree of rolling, especially if I'm walking forward or back. It's rolling just a little bit forward, a little bit back, but it's not rolling. It's not rolling in this sense. I'm not rolling my hips around like this. So it's just hiking and continuing to access and manipulate the space that you created by hiking your hip up. So that's always an exercise too. To hold, to like softly, soft knees, hike on one side and see what you can do with that space. Is it easier for you to open up? Is it easier for you to drop it thereafter? Is it easier for you to swing it back and forth? What is it that you can do in this hike space? But for the Susie Q, yes, there's a hike as well as a roll out. I don't know if I can show that from the side since I have the fun stripe. So as opposed to our normal whole leg just moving as one,
Oh
And
my
seeing
God.
the white stripe move, I'm like, oh, right, you can really see a big difference.
Oh my God, LaTasha, that's really, really beautiful. It makes such a huge difference and it looks incredible. Mara also asks, what are your knees doing during the hike walks? And I think you kind of mentioned earlier that you have to keep your knees soft, right?
Yeah. It's still just our basic pulsing walk. So if we try to keep our knees straight while also pulsing, we just look like toddlers learning how to walk for the first time. But keeping our knees soft, we're able to absorb our weight as we shift side to side. And most people who've taken classes with me before know I live in my midfoot area. So very rarely am I on the balls of my feet. So as my weight shifts front to back, it's a toe, heel, heel, toe kind of situation. And not wholly a heel toe. It's more like midfoot heel. Midfoot heel, midfoot heel, midfoot heel, midfoot heel.
Super, super cool. So that helps a lot with Mara, that basically it's got to stay soft and kind of spongy so that we can have that bounce.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so that's the hike and hike walks. And then the hip dip, that's what you were talking about that you kind of referenced when you saw Al, the
Yeah.
sink. So can you give us a couple of exercises, Tasha, where we go back and forth between, one more time, the dip versus the hike?
Yeah. So that, of course, is the dip on its own step. And this is, again, a midfoot step. Heel drop as well as the same time a hip dip. Nice. The only difference with this projection is that your whole leg is moving. You could also use this in knee slaps. Like the way you sit into it, as opposed to just popping up. It's a variation as well. The other place that I sneakily use the hip dip are on boogie forwards. So as opposed to, so we just walk forward, I often sit really deep into that. I just don't like you to explore this.
Wait, I'm sorry, wait. I need to see you do that again before I hurt myself.
So the initial drop, as opposed to just being this forward projection, I actually hold here in the hip as I move forward. And of course, the obvious hip dip on the boogie backs. But that's a more squared out, a little more controlled variation. Yeah. So that single leg. The other place that people are getting a painful, I guess you would say, reminder of their need to use their hips are those who are learning the trickeration. That especially needing to clap and hold that step at the same time. The more you try to just kick it, you're gonna fall out of it. If you're dipping into your hip on that step, it's a lot easier to control.
Oh my God, I hear you. Okay, so that trickeration step, that's from Norma's routine. And then we
Yeah.
had boogie backs, and then we also had boogie walks forward.
Yeah.
And then we did Susie Q. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 jazz steps where we're really looking at how your idea of hips and the use of hips can be
And don't
souped
forget the
up.
Charleston that we started with too.
Which one?
The Charleston swing.
Oh my gosh, yes, the Charleston swing.
Yeah.
Don't y'all worry, people at home. I'm writing this down, okay? The Charleston swing, the Susie Q, the trickeration, the boogie backs, the boogie forward, and then also at the beginning, you had said the stomp off and fall off the log
Yeah.
were also things. Oh, Nick is super excited. Hi, Nick. Nick is super excited about the trickeration tip.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. And then enlightenment. Oh, yes, because Chiren was working on the trickeration. That's right. So, one more time, what you were saying about trickeration is that the hip.
yeah. So the more you sit into that hip, the easier it is to control that extension. Yeah.
Yep. I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you. Amazing.
Yeah.
What about is fall off the log similar to that?
So this is again a Tasha-ism, just because of the way that I like to play in the shape sometimes. And this is another, I guess you'd say, house technique that kind of helped me to unlock my personal aesthetic in jazz. But we have like these skip backs. But when you really start to feel it, as opposed to just being a skip, touch, skip, touch, touch kind of situation, you start to roll yourself into the step, which requires a hip hike, which of course was very familiar to the extending slides and our eagle slides. Yeah, exactly. But using them, trying to get myself to use that degree of power without actually traveling on that instant moment, that's what I started trying to project into my fall off the log. So and in doing so, it forced a rhythmic syncopation in my body because I didn't want to travel. So that momentum had to go somewhere. And because I'm mid-foot always, it immediately put itself into the floor and the residual was in my hip. Which then made me realize that when I wanted to, I could hold and play.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have to sing that rhythm back. So you're getting because of that kutunk, you're getting that da da boom bum buka ka boom ba buka ka boom ba buka, and then you can stay there and da boo da boo ka boo, and that's because you're letting the heel drop and not so much the heel. Sorry, I shouldn't focus on the feet. It's all about the hips.
All about the hips.
So you're letting the roll kind of come through from this hip drop, and that's what makes your supporting leg have that extra, and it's delayed. It's or
Yeah.
we get the katu.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's syncopated.
God. LaTasha, is it possible Victor is so excited about this? Hi, Victor Lillard. He says, Tasha, the house step you briefly showed looked like it could be in a Toba break. Got any hip tips for that one? And thanks for the dance wisdom. Love from Andy. So
Oh.
yeah, maybe the Toba break and how we can use this idea of hips.
And so, yes, definitely when I saw the first Toba break, well, sorry, Chester, don't shoot me. I know that's the second version of the Toba break. My bad.
That's right. Keep it simple first. Keep it simple first.
What's interesting is the out in is more simple than the walk because every time you try to just do it, you're like, wait, but my foot's in the air. No. So anyway, I digress. In the hip projection, if you choose, yes, you can add that accent of the dip. But then again, I switched feet again. There we go.
By the way, side note, technology is amazing, and I don't know if the clouds in the sky parted or what happened, but your video is gorgeous and clear now. So thank you, clouds, technological, Wi-Fi, internet. And yeah, can you show that to us again? Because you're doing the Toba break, but you're really putting the hip in.
And so it's going to take some time articulating it incredibly slow for you to be able to get just even a little bit of sassiness, as we would like to call that projection. And you'll realize because you're hiking and rolling, you won't have that much travel forward at the end. This is also one of the easiest ways, in my opinion, to help your Suzy Q stabilize. Because as soon as you start rolling your hips, your movement goes just a little bit more deeply into the ground. So this becomes a little bit exhaustive if you try to travel that all the way across, unless you build up that strength and dexterity.
So when you're using your hips this powerfully, the kind of main goal that you're saying is you're not going to move as much, and that is okay. Like you're not going to move as much on the floor, and that is okay. And I completely agree, because the focus then becomes about what your body is doing and not about where we're like running around to. Yeah.
That was the funniest thing ever. I love that too. You were just like, not about where we're going.
Yeah. Oh, also, Tara. Hi, Tara. Good to see you again. She says, oh my God, doing it that way feels so much better. Or getter, whichever. It's amazing. What about, this is a simple one, but you had mentioned it earlier. What about the stomp off?
Right. So our basic, we always talk about it just in putting your weight down and taking it off, which is synonymous for what it is, stomp off, right? But very rarely do we talk about why that's possible. And as we're talking now, because you add this projection in your hips, you can get just a little more weight into your movement without moving so far. So with just the basic, nice, but softening a little bit more, and then also hiking just slightly as I return. And I don't know if you can see what's happening. It's just a slight little roll that I'm allowing for, as opposed to just front to back. So it's just a tiny little roll, but it's because I'm accessing my hip, which then gives me that much more weight. Now, for those who are trying at home, I know that standing leg, you're just like, I need some water to cool this off, because that standing leg should be burning. It should be.
I mean, I feel it in I feel it in my standing leg, but I also feel it in the crunchy side. Which do you think should be working harder?
That's all depending on the pattern. Because, like, for me, I'm used to moving this way and like doing big, huge movements around this space. Wow, that's the first time I've done that since the surgery. That felt really good. Wow.
Be careful. Take it easy. Take it easy. Be careful.
But so it's just going to depend on your physicality and like how you're used to moving. If you're used to doing things in this space, this might not fatigue as quickly as your hip socket. Or if your hip socket is used to doing a lot of work, then it might displace to your piriformis, which you'll hate later. And likewise, the rest of your glute could try to take that over, and you could try to hold just a total stiff leg approach to it, which your knees will not thank you for later. But there are all of these ways that your desire to hold this in a different shape, in a different way, might manifest. So pay attention to what actually is bothering you and see, okay, well, maybe if I soften my knees a little more. Okay, what if I don't use my hip? And it's like, oh, then I feel like my standing leg is doing all the work. Yeah, which might be. And if you videotape yourself, because everybody should be videotaping themselves dancing, you might find a projection that suits your personality more. Or it may just be a sound projection that you relate to. So I know, like in Ella's Smooth Sailing, when she hits that ooh, every time I always want to turn and spin like that. I don't know why. It's either that or a dragged stomp ball, but I'm only able to do that because I'm using my hips that way.
I understand. Gosh, LaTasha, this is so brilliant. First of all, so many comments coming in saying, thank you. This is pure gold. Oh my God, it feels so much better. Completely transformative. Let's see. Asman says, I'm sure Sing Yang Lim is jealous right now because I get to see you live. But so many people typing into the comments, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube, that this just transforms the way they think about the step. This is so much fun. Will you take us? I know this is tedious, but if anybody is at home trying this, and I'm trying it, can you take us once again through a stomp off? And will you tell us like the angle of the hip, and then tell us what muscle we should be thinking about as we do the exercise?
So if we, again, and thank you for that. And it's not tedious. This is kind of like my nerddom point. Because like I said, well, for those who don't know, I've been a personal trainer, corrective exercise specialist for almost 30 years now. Holy crap. No. 25 years. There we go.
Oh, yes. You're a baby, of course. Yeah.
25 years. Anyway, so like I said, I like to take dance steps and dissect them into functional aspects of the body. Like, what is actually happening when I want to do a certain thing? Like, why does this not feel like it's articulating in the way that I see it happening in the video? So with stomp offs, the first thing that we do, even though we're already in a accessible position, our knees are soft, ankles are soft, hips are available, we drop just a little bit more. And that's the first hike, is in that standing leg. So as opposed to hiking it up, we're manufacturing the hike by dropping on the other side. Yeah. But simultaneously, as we drop, we're bringing that leg forward and letting that weight sink into the floor, holding this hike and sliding back. Yeah. And as we slide back, you see, yeah, if you let your anatomy do its job, your opposite leg, your standing leg, the knee comes forward slightly. And then that hip is extended back, which is yet another sassy moment if you choose to take it. Here in this moment, because we're maintaining this pulse, we're able to have this slight articulation to replace that foot to the front again. And so as you feel your way through, especially that immediate collapse, that sound, you should feel this back hip working. You should feel them switch places. So you feel this hip articulation shift outward, but it's also hiking without you lifting your foot up. But you're lifting it up slightly, which is how you're able to achieve the slide. And then you're rolling it forward to restart.
Oh my God, LaTasha, that is incredible.
This starts to get into stuff that like my brothers like Rashad and Brian and my crew Assassin's crew do with like a lot of their popping, because they're the way that their hips move, they just But as you play with your ability to redistribute your weight, you'll start to notice ways that you can start to slide. And this is just simple pivoting on that back foot because my weight is committed there. And the same thing. Switching. This
Okay,
is
LaTasha,
all
okay, you
because of
did this to yourself because you showed us that is amazing. Can you put your cell phone or can you put the camera on the floor and can we watch your feet for a hot second do that? That
sure.
was insane. And just so that we're kind of clear, like we're doing a stomp off, but then it's coming from
And the back is just the same. So it's just, if you want to think about it, it's just a TikTok that's happening, but in a more controlled manner. And so if we change places, stomp off, your weight you should be able to sufficiently switch at this point. So then you turn, stomp off, stomp off, stomp off. Does that make
do
sense?
yeah, well you do that a few more times and I totally understand the importance of how the hip has to be light enough. You have to pick it up. Oh my God, you have to pick it up so that it allows the foot to pivot. Oh, this is incredible. Christine, Michelle, I know. She says, Evita, your facial expressions are wonderful. LaTasha, this is incredible, and you are incredible. I agree. I agree. I mean, my facial expressions are just, how could your face not make that look if you see this is just, ugh. So LaTasha, is this might be asking too much. This might be asking too much of you, but what if because we've got so many steps now that we've been working on. We did Susie
Sorry, let's talk
Q.
about the thing first.
Oh, no, 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 totally fine. We did so many steps here. What if could we do boogie forward, boogie
Mhm.
back? Then could we do fall off the log, Susie Q, stomp off, trickeration, Toba break? I'll call it out. I'll call it out.
So
So let's do
once we got
and the
on the line,
idea. I mean, we don't have music. We
what's
don't have
that?
mu. Oh, go ahead.
You said we don't have music?
Do you have music?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it out.
Let's see.
And you know, LaTasha, it doesn't actually matter if we remember all of the steps. Oh, I forgot the Charleston swing. It doesn't matter if you do them all or if we remember them all, but can we just do a couple where we get to kind of watch you using your hips in the way that you've suggested, and then we can all just try to keep up with you. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Mara says, watching Evita's mind explode is giving me life. Oh, you're welcome. Meanwhile, I'm just like, and Jackie Lee says, fire, 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 fire. In
Thanks, Jackie.
emojis. And Sam, thank you everybody for tuning in. Listen, while LaTasha's getting the music ready, I just want to remind everybody, if you want to send her a little kiss, a little hug, a little love, you can send a donation directly to her. We've got her Venmo information and her PayPal information. If
That's
you
so
go
sweet.
to what?
I said that's so sweet.
It is sweet because we care and we want to try to help you out, and we know that all other work is gone right now. So doing these sort of creative, random attempts at giving lessons, this is really like where money is coming in. So Venmo and PayPal, her direct links are at syncopatedcity.com/live, and any little hug, love, kiss, support I know would be welcomed. Okay, LaTasha, we're going to try to keep up with you.
Hey, sadly, this is like, well, not sadly, because I love this song, but it is a little fast, but it also is a song that elicits that desire for that extra bounce and like dips from me. Some of you might know this song. It's Harlem, Harlem, Harlem by Charles Turner and Uptown Swing.
Okay, I mute myself.
It's that part. I'm going to skip ahead. And it waves. Can you hear it? So you said boogie forwards? Toba Sugar Hill to Riverside Drive. Malcolm X down to Harlem River Drive. All our dues in history written deep inside. Take me uptown. Sunday morning, everybody's in their prime. After church, we smile and laugh and then we dine. And we'll dance and even have a glass of wine. That cloud and spirit, we call it maintain. It's Harlem, Harlem, Harlem. It can't be renamed. And it will remain. Where the echoes of the Duke and Macy ride. Jazz and blues and rhythm hit you every time. From your shoes and then it goes right up your spine. Take me uptown. As you walk along the roads of Langston Hughes. Idealize on ways of making better food. Past, present, future, rooted in the blue. It's that kind of spirit. We call it maintained. It's Harlem, Harlem, Harlem. It can't be renamed. And it will remain.
Tasha, you are amazing. That is so beautiful. I know everybody watching the music was kind of cutting in and out, and there might be a delay, but I don't care. It's that's not the point. The point is that we can put on any song we want and think about all of the technical things that LaTasha was talking about. You might have noticed I was actually just half timing a lot of stuff and kind of moving through it. And then super importantly, we're just able to watch how LaTasha embodies it and actually it infuses every single step that she takes, every single weight shift. Even if you go back to the beginning of this session and you just look at her hike walks and her walking around and talking about that triple bounce that she does, we see the mobility, the awakeness, the power of her hips, her pelvis, and how she's using that all the time. And LaTasha, this was so amazing. I mean, obviously I love you and we work together on so many projects and you're my dear friend, but man, this was incredible. Like, you really broke it down beautifully. You gave us so many jazz steps that we can put it into. Oh, I mean,
even my favorite thing that, we talk about this all the time. The steps are great. The steps are beautiful. They were meant to, connect to the rhythms of the songs that everybody enjoyed. But my goal is always to teach people how to be better dancers. And so in thinking about that, like, yeah, to be a better dancer, you need to be a little more self-aware. So if I can give people just one access point to work on to help them unlock themselves a little bit more, this is my favorite. For sure.
I cannot thank you enough. So everybody who was watching, we titled this Move and Groove. And I wanted to call it What Lindy Hoppers Might Be Missing. And clearly, I think we can all agree, we just maybe haven't been thinking about our hips enough. So, oh, Chedin writes, thank you, LaTasha. Wash hands, wash hands, wash hands, wash hands.
That's in the hips too. You can do that too.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so, so much for your time,
Thank you for
LaTasha.
having me, really.
I hope that you're doing well and continue to stay safe and strong and heal. And I hope that we're all out of this soon. And once again, everybody, if you're watching and if you want to send any love or support, oops, I'm so sorry. That was all me. I was muted for that. Damn it. Let me say that again. I just wanted
Oh,
to
I
say,
heard you.
yeah, LaTasha heard me. Um, Thank you so much, LaTasha, for your time and for just showing us how you move and how you think about this. This was amazing. And if anybody wants to give Tasha some love or just say thank you for this little hour of teaching, breaking down examples, go to syncopatedcity.com/live. Her Venmo and her PayPal links are there. You can just send her whatever, $1, $5, $10. Um, and it would anything helps right now for us. And
Sure.
seriously, Tasha, thank you so very much. I've got so many people writing in that Takiani variation with the hips. That is life. Mara says this was awesome, thank you so much. Lucha says thank you, thank you, thank you. Asman says hips don't lie, thank you. Victor, thank you. Tasha and Evita, oh man, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I know that there's a lot of material out there right now for you to watch. You know, there's a which
Yeah.
is wonderful and exciting, and thank goodness because we're all stuck at home. But if anybody is in a financially safe place and you wanted to just say thank you to LaTasha for her time and doing what she does, yeah,
And I
send
know there
her.
were some artistic licensing moments in there, so disregard those. But this song is it's really sweet. It's really personal to me. So um, mainly, like one of my best friends sings it, so I tend to get a little excited in my movement sometimes. So yeah, sometimes explore that and see where that takes you to.
And by the way, if anybody's interested, the song is called Harlem, Harlem, Harlem. It's an original composition, isn't it? By
Yes.
Charles Turner. Charles wrote it. So check out Charles Turner as well. You can easily find his name if you just Google it. Lots of stuff from him on YouTube, and of course, I think he had
He
a
was
new
at their
album.
Tiny Desk concert. Yeah, he was one of the Tiny Desk concert entries of the week. Yeah, when they were doing the
Really,
virtual entries. Yeah.
really.
Hmm.
Ah, that's
There are
amazing. All
notes of the.
right.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Benny, we love you too, Benny. Bill, thanks you guys. We'll see you all very, very soon. And there's so many, comments. I'm just gonna let us. We'll talk to you online. But we love you guys. Thank you so much, LaTasha.
Thank you.
Stay safe, and I'll see you soon.
Keep dancing.
We will. Love you.